What's up? We're back.
Yes, we are. Even though it's been a short amount of time, we're already back.
This is Navigating Life with Good Company. I'm Stefan, a.k.a. Tricky, one of your hosts, and I'm here with Mario, a.k.a. Ryofu. So I know it. Like, it's funny because, like, I saw it in my head, and it's like I've never said it out loud on the mic because you've always been the one.
I guess I should have warned you a little bit about that.
I messed that up. My bad. Anyways, what's going on, man?
Not much. So as you guys can see, I'm still wearing the same shirt, and your boy Tricky, he changed it up a little bit on you. But no, the reason why this is happening is because we have so much to talk about, and the cup runneth over.
The cup runneth over. The first episode we said, hey, the podcast after the podcast is going to be 3 beers later.
3 beers later.
We're there, but no, that's not it. So that we don't drag this out like 4 hours, we figured we'd just go ahead and jump right into a new episode.
Yeah.
And touch on the other things that we wanted to talk about, because we do have other things that we want to talk about.
Yes, we do.
So, I think the first thing that you wanted to talk about.
Well, the first one is going to be you, because this is a big one. It's
oh, that's right. That's right. So I know, going back a little bit, we were talking about Michael J. Fox
on the first episode.
On the first episode, talking about, that was kind of like the rabbit hole we went down. We started talking about Back to the Future, and I made a comment and I said, I think they're making a Back to the Future 4, but I wasn't for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I've done some digging, and bro, I'm going to start it off with this.
Okay.
I found a trailer for Back to the Future 4.
Really? Okay.
No bull crap.
Okay.
But it was not a real trailer.
Oh.
Somebody made it, bro. And I was so disheartened.
Oh, my God.
So you remember we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, they did like all these talk shows, and it was him and Christopher Lloyd. Mm-hmm. Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. And I could have swore, just because I wanted it so bad.
Oh, I would not turn that down one bit.
Right. And
I would be down for that.
I was like, oh, they're going to make another one. Right. And I just kind of spoke out loud and said, I think they're making one, but they're not. Right. So during our first episode, and now I'm subscribed to Apple TV Plus, and there's a show on it. A new one just came out called Still, and it talks about Michael J. Fox. Bro, this dude lived a life, bro. But what's crazy about it is, watching this show, you realize, like, he's not the same guy anymore. Right. Oh. He has Parkinson's. We all know this, right?
Yeah.
And he
had it. I was just going to say, Eddie had it early.
He had it for a while.
Yeah. And he was trying to hide it.
And he hid it. Yes.
And that's probably the extent of what I know, is just hearing about stuff where he was pretty much putting his hands in his pocket. Yeah. In his pocket just so it wasn't visible or whatever.
Exactly. Did you watch that show or that documentary?
No. But I've seen little stuff on him throughout the years, and he's talked about some things in interviews, and he said that was one of the things that he was doing, was like, and you could even see that in it might have been the second one. He was
the third one for sure. The third one for sure. They show that in the documentary.
And you see him walk. You know, like there's times that he's talking and he has his, and I mean, to me, I mean, if I was in his situation, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you think about somebody like that at that tier of popularity, sorry. And of course, he's going to hide it. Like normal people are going to hide it as long as they can. And so they have to finally come clean about it and admit, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, he hid it. And I didn't like all of this stuff that I watched in the documentary. It was just so disheartening, right? But I didn't know any of this because I didn't follow him, I guess, like you did, or I didn't see any of those like little short clips of him talking about it, right? Yeah. He's a huge advocate for Parkinson's disease and trying to get, funding for it and figuring out something about it. But just watching this guy go through the routines of working out, trying to get his muscles to basically relax, because Parkinson's is like, it's like a tightening of the muscles, and your muscles are non-responsive. They don't respond like they're supposed to anymore, right? It's a degenerative disease.
I think that's the word for it. Yeah.
So sad to say, there probably isn't going to be a Back to the Future 4. If there is, right, he's not going to be like the lead. He won't be the lead. He might have a cameo. He might be in it there somewhere, but he's not going to be the guy. The trailer that I saw, bro, I mean, like, I watched Steel before I saw this trailer. I saw the trailer today. I mean, because I was like, okay, I saw the documentary. Maybe there's still a chance. Maybe there's still a chance that they're going to do this, right? I'm in his corner. Like, this dude's working out for this movie. Like, he's getting prepped for it, right?
Oh, man, yeah.
And so when I found this trailer, I was like, this is it right here. And then I'm reading the comments, and everybody's like, that was an awesome project you did. So bad that this isn't the real thing, And I was just totally bummed out. I was like, dang it. But
yeah, I mean, I guess if anything else was going to happen, it would be one of his kids or something.
That's what I was thinking. His kids, kids or grandkids.
Yeah,
because they're that old where they can even go into like the grandkid generation. And use them, for some type of role. I mean, Christopher Lloyd, he looks old, but he still looks good,
and he can still say, and he can still say, "Great Scott."
Great Scott. Yeah, exactly. Bro, you got to watch the trailer. I mean, it's freaking amazing.
Oh, I definitely will watch that.
Yeah, for sure. Just type in Back to the Future 4 and it's going to pop up. So because I remember when I looked on it the first night that the first episode.
Right. And when you said it, I was like, oh, I did not know that this was going to be a thing at all. So, but I mean, if it is, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Everybody's wishing and hoping, man. Like, talk about a movie that is a staple of our generation. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Like, pick a movie, name a movie that has stuck through the test of time.
Oh, and I'm going to say something absolutely ridiculous.
Go ahead.
Because that's part of what this is, right?
Yo, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Like, if there's like the way, okay, so I'm mainly commenting on the delivery of the comedy and the sense of humor of the series. And I know now, obviously, in today's time, like we could look at it, we're going to get a laugh out of it, like we were talking about the chicken thing.
Yeah.
And obviously that wouldn't translate, for kids of this generation. But I would always go out on a limb and say that Back to the Future is kind of like a live action anime.
Bringing it back.
Yeah. Like the way the story happens, the way the story beats happen, and the way the humor is presented, it's kind of like lighthearted. It reminds me of like a shonen. And for people that don't know, shonen is like it's supposed to be anime or manga for young boys.
Oh, okay.
But shonen is like the most popular one. So like, Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
Naruto,
Gotcha.
all of those are shonen.
Oh, I did not know that.
A lot of the fighting anime types are the shonen ones. But anyways, the way just Back to the Future, like the way the story happens, and it has the part where, he gets the girl and, they have the comedy part where, he's in the past and then his mom is attracted to him and then he's just fucking awkward, stuff like that happening. It's very anime to me.
Nice.
The whole thing. But, like I said, totally in the good way.
Yeah, for sure. But, kudos to his wife. Like, bro, if you're looking for somebody, that's the type of woman you want. Like, hands down.
No, you are absolutely
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, stuck by him. He's got like 4 kids, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 3 kids. And, they're all in the documentary and his wife's there. And it's just a testament to like true love and like for better or for worse.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I mean, I've always liked Michael J. Fox. I've loved his movies. He's in quite a few. And even movies that I had never seen, they were showing, him as a little kid. Family Ties. Bro, I mean, so I was poor, didn't have cable, but the times that I did see Family Ties, it was funny. I enjoyed it. I loved it. So,
hey, I hear you on that. I hear you. Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that he wasn't even supposed to get that role. Based off the documentary that I was watching, he goes and tells a story like the writer or creator of that show did not want Michael J. Fox.
And isn't it funny? So in this because it was classified as a documentary, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so did they show the part where so I can tell you that I've seen this because I own that whatever it is, a special edition DVD collection of all the Back to the Futures.
Yeah.
So the Michael J. Fox was not the first pick
For Back to the Future?
and
Yeah,
they had. So did they show footage of
Yes,
that?
they did.
Okay, so in my collection, I've seen the footage of that guy, and he's like, whoa, and they're just.
They showed that too, bro.
And I like how like the people, because all the actors were already saddled in.
Yeah, they did. I don't know how much footage they did. They went back and did all of it.
And they were like, he did a really good job, and it just didn't.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
right. It be like that sometimes.
Sometimes, bro.
But when I saw like the pictures and the footage, I was just like, okay, seeing him like, he just I was just like,
You made that face.
Yes. There we go. Going back to the first episode, he knew that at some point YouTube was going to be a thing, and he's like, all 40-year-old men need to make this face. Or they're going to at least try to make this face, and they're going to try to make something work. They're going to try to get some clicks, but
yeah. So it goes. He was shooting Family Ties.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Spielberg was doing Back to the Future. And they give the script to, I think, the creator, the director of Family Ties, and he held off getting Michael J. Fox on that set.
Wow. Okay.
Because he didn't want to interrupt the show. And he finally was like, yeah, they really need you over there. Like, they really want you to go over there and do this because it's not working out with the guy that they have. So,
damn.
I mean, it just like that whole interaction of like not getting it and then getting it. It was.
I guess he's always coming in clutch, like right, just to come out of nowhere and swoop in and save the project.
Yeah, seriously.
That's
I didn't even know how he was a short dude. I never like thought of him as a short guy, but he's a short dude.
Yeah. I mean, I like you said, I knew that after. I didn't know that when I was watching the shows at the time.
Yeah. I mean, you see it when he's standing up against with Biff. You know, you see the difference in height there, but still, I just thought that dude was like a monster. You know.
Oh yeah,
Biff. But yeah, he's a small guy from Canada.
Yeah.
Yep.
The land of Drake.
The land of Drake. Sorry.
I wish I could say the land of Skinny Puppy, but people know Drake more than Skinny Puppy, so
they're a Canadian band?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. Yeah, Drake, whatever.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my boys about Drake, and it's just funny listening to different opinions about Drake. But I don't dislike him.
Yeah,
I don't dislike him.
He has made some good music.
Yeah, I mean, personally,
he's collabed with people that helped him make good music.
Yeah, and I know we're going way left field, but I'm just
for sure.
But I'm just gonna throw this out there right now because I mean, I've shared this with you before, but like that was originally my dream. Like I thought I'm gonna need to be like not literally be like, but I'm gonna do a Missy Elliott. I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna rap, and then here comes this fool. I'm like, damn, my idea just nothing now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. Probably as far as a guy, I don't think any dudes were rapping and singing. I don't count Ja Rule, by the way.
Oh, okay. Dang it. Dang.
I can't deny.
Shots fired.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I don't know what it is, but my dad remembers, for whatever reason, he remembers that the Ja Rule, Jennifer Lopez collabo, and he just remembers that part where he's like, "I like the way you smell," and he says that. But like, of all the things, why do you remember that line?
Oh wow! I could just picture your dad saying
that.
That's what makes it so funny.
Yeah, that is what makes it funny.
That's too good. But anyways, yeah, I just it kind of saddens my heart that we're not going to get to see something like that, and that he's in the position that he's in. But I mean, he's just so high spirit, and he's just I mean, I don't think many people in that situation would act the way that he does.
No.
You know?
It would be very hard, very difficult.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. And he's going to live with it, and he's going to be the best that he can be with what he has, So kudos to him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely.
So, but yeah, whatever. What do you got for me, man?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. So, this should have been 2 weeks from now, but so we're going to say yesterday. I sent you a clip. Were you able to watch it?
I did watch it, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I did.
So, the topic I wanted to bring up is whether it's still worth to go to college or not in 2023. Now, this topic is coming from, it's a clip from a Vlad interview that he did with Neil Degrasse Tyson. And I thought this would be a great conversation to have. And specifically, on our end, the reason why I think it would be even more of an interesting conversation, because both of us are two people that went to college but did not finish college.
Yeah.
And I think that would be pretty insightful to get the perspective on two people that went to college but didn't finish for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to go first, or?
Yes, sir. I definitely do.
Okay. You want me to go first? So with my experience with college, and I've shared this with quite a few people, but I would say that I went straight after high school, like a lot of people do, and during that time period, and this is actually something that is listed on my main YouTube channel, but at that time I was running a lot of anime forums on Yahoo clubs, and I was absolutely obsessed. If you think about how kids and adults that are obsessed with social media, that are obsessed with TikTok, that are obsessed with Facebook, that are obsessed with Instagram, that was me in, I would say, 1999 to 2002. That was me, except for it was Yahoo clubs, and it was me running all these anime forums. And this was dial-up period, so that means I was to a point where, and this, to give an idea of the obsession, the level of the obsession, I was going to bed, and I worked part-time, and I went to college full-time, and I would go to bed. I would wake up at some point and have to go to the bathroom. I would turn on the computer. Power on the computer. I'd go to the bathroom. By that time, the computer is ready to go to get on the internet. Then I have to do the whole dial-up thing, and then I would sit there, wait for it to log in and everything. I'd check a couple of places, see if there's any messages, make sure there weren't any bots that were posting anything that shouldn't be on the forum. And then I would shut everything down and go back to sleep.
You've got mail.
Yes, yeah. I was hearing that. There was probably definitely the first year I was hearing that, because everybody was on AOL at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was really obsessed, and I this is kind of one of those things where I totally own up to this, that in that situation I was really obsessed with the internet, and college did not fail me. I failed myself in that situation, and it's because I didn't. Not even that I wasn't mature enough, but just really, I just had a moment where I was hyper focused on this one thing. And I was in a position where I had people telling me, because you have to think this was, 1999, 2000. People just think because you can turn on a computer, they're like, oh, you're good at computers. You should do something in computers. You're good at computers. And it's not really that I was good at computers. It's just maybe I knew just a little bit more than the average person, but it wasn't like I was this amazing talent that had a knack or anything. You know what I mean? I didn't have anything over anybody else. And then so I went into computer information systems. And the ironic thing is that later on, some of the people that I went to school with, and they graduated, some of them were like in their 50s, in their 60s. And one guy, I remember this because I bumped into him later on. He was someone that didn't even know how to turn on a computer. He just knew, if I do this job, I can get paid really good. So I guess I'll learn how to use a computer.
Wow.
And he was in my COBOL class. But
what's COBOL?
Oh, it's a programming language. I think most places at this point they've probably moved away from COBOL.
Yeah, it's old, but I knew. I just wanted for the audience.
Yeah. But it's But it's but at that time they were still teaching it, using it as a teaching tool.
Oh, for sure.
And at that time I thought it was good for me because I had, along with running the anime forums, I had gotten pretty decent. I would say decent, not well, but decent at making websites and using HTML. I had some friends friends online, I would say, that they taught me how to build web pages, which is kind of fascinating now because if you look at it now, there's a lot of pages, or I should say a lot of places where you can go and they do all that legwork for you already. Yeah, you don't have to know HTML. I mean, there's definitely a level, like you could get to a level where it's super advanced and make stuff look really unique. But I mean, but I think the average person isn't going to need that. The average person, they can, I think one of them is called Squarespace or something like that.
GoDaddy. They'll build a website for you. It's just drag and drop.
Yeah. And so I think there's a level of customization you could probably get if you still do it that way.
Are you talking about the old way?
Yeah, HTML. The old way. Yeah, there's
gotcha.
A level of customization you can get to, but I think for the average person that's not going to matter.
Yeah, you're going to somebody you're going to a company that's out there.
Right, or you would just hire someone to do, to make stuff for you, But anyways, though, I would just say that, in my experience, it's something that I think college, or actually I should even just say education in general, I think it's extremely important. And, part of the reason why I wanted you to watch that video because, ultimately, really, he's not saying that, he's not like this defender of higher education, but he's really just saying it gives you tools to learn how to problem solve. And in reality, even though, I got close to finishing, those tools that he's talking about, even on an undergraduate level, a lot of those tools, I use in my real life, in my day-to-day now.
Yep.
So
I would agree.
Go ahead.
Now, I watched the video, and I definitely agree with everything that you just said. I mean, I understood. I know your background, right?
Yeah.
And mine, and mine's a little different. I guess my distraction, as far as not finishing, was the system as a whole. I was very pleased that he wasn't a defender of education, even though I don't really care for Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think he hit it on the head, and very true. All it is tools to help you think. Like you said, problem solve. Where I kind of digress from that, though, is it's not teaching you it's not only teaching you how to think, right? It's not only teaching you how to problem solve. It's putting you in a box of how to think. Does that make sense? It's teaching you how to think a certain way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, but I'm listening. I'm all ears. I am all ears. Go ahead.
Okay. So my background, went to college right out of high school, undeclared major up until year 2, right? First year, undeclared major. Second year, computer science. That's what I thought that's what I was going to do, right? I was dead set. I love computers. Let's go. Then you get into it and you're like, this shit's boring. I'm not going to be that guy. I just cannot be that guy. And it really was just it was a struggle to stay motivated for me, you know. And third year, fourth year, it was like, this is just a boys club. Now, was I getting in? It might have been a lie I was telling myself, right? But this is just my train of thought at the time. This is all about networking. I was seeing people like cheat through school. Like, I knew people that cheated through school. Like, I can name one person that you know because we went to high school with them. Cheated through school.
I think I know who that person is.
And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me right now. Pardon my language, but damn. Like, I just saw a lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit. Heard a lot of bullshit. Because I'm a nosy person and I'm a very people person. And I'm in the in. Like, I am not a popular person, right? But I was in with enough people to know what was going on. And I am one of those people that love to people watch. And most of the time, it's just like this thing that I have. I can just watch and understand what's going on without anything being said. And my senior year, I was just like, this is just a bunch of bullshit. This is a bunch of bullshit, and I don't want any part of it. And I'm done.
Like, so are you talking about like in terms of like people cheating or that they were getting away with cheating or?
Oh, no, for sure they were getting away with cheating. Even to this day, my mother just graduated. Like, she just graduated like half a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She went back to school.
Really?
Yeah, bro. She went back to school.
No, I did not. Okay. Yeah.
And she got a degree.
What did she get her degree in?
Medical is something to do with medical. She got a bachelor's in that. Medical administration or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to ask her just to double check and make sure.
Okay. Yeah. No problem.
But she got her bachelor's, right? And she was like telling me of like people cheating in school. Like, and these people got caught. But I know for a fact that people were cheating while I was going, and these people ended up with a piece of paper that said that they were intelligent.
I think that I think in those cases, like, that's going to ultimately catch up to them. I don't mean catch up in the way like they're going to get their degree taken away from them or anything like that.
Happening.
Yeah, but I think if you, no matter what you do, whether it's college or a job, if you cheat your way through something, let's keep it to my favorite topic in the whole world, YouTube. If you cheat YouTube, it's going to catch up with you. I won't say who this person is. God bless him. I know someone that, not anymore because he deleted it, but God bless him though. He was a good dude. He was a good dude, but he had over 4,000 subscribers. And he had he was getting less views than I was getting 2 years ago. And he had 4,000 subscribers.
How?
I don't know if he paid for subscribers. I don't know if he you can I mean, even we could do something like this. And I haven't tested stuff like this enough to know. I personally don't think I'm going to do this, but like you can actually pay Google to advertise for like your YouTube channel. You know, you can do the same thing with Facebook. You can, can advertise. And I experimented with Facebook. I never did it with Google. But anyways, point being though, is that I don't know what happened there, but you know, if you have 4,000 subscribers and you're getting 30 views, you know what I'm saying?
Looks a little sus, bro.
Right. So I just think stuff like that, it may not catch up with people immediately, but eventually, once the dust settles, in the case of these people that cheated their way to get a degree, it's not catching up with them in the moment, but there's going to come a time when they're going to have to put in the work whatever job they take on. And then that place of employment is going to be very disappointed.
For sure.
When they're like, you're useless.
Yeah.
What did you even learn?
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation because it really does fall into the workplace too. This whole like system broken carries over into the workplace. It really does. But kind of going back to what I was saying. So
go ahead.
My whole view of college, secondary education was just kind of jaded, and I honestly should have worked through that. But
I'm just going to ask, not to interrupt you, but was that kind of like I don't want to say the last straw, but was that the point where you were like, there's me trying to do my thing, trying to learn, better myself, and then there's these people that they're just clearly getting away with not knowing anything, and they're going to graduate. And was that like the point where you felt like, I'm not even going to mess with this, or was there something else that happened that got you to that tipping point?
So, I mean, I sabotaged myself for sure, but that was definitely the catalyst that got the ball rolling of, why am I really doing this shit? Like, really? Am I doing this for myself, or am I doing it because somebody said that I needed to do it?
And I will say this. I think a lot of us are guilty of doing something because we're told that that's what you are in fact supposed to do.
Right.
You graduate high school. Oh, you're not going in the military? Okay, then you need to go to college.
Exactly. So it kind of, I'm building this up, but so that's my background, right? And I'm going to explain why I said what I said as far as it's not only teaching you to think, but how to think, right? Because the system is part of the system. Secondary education is just a small cog in a big machine. And we, like, before we even said we were going to talk about this, like, there's more of this conversation that we can't fit in one episode. Right. So
and this is something we can always come back to.
Right. And so when I say it carries over into the workplace because it truly does. You have a system that. All right. Anyways, going back to the video, he said it teaches you how to think, and I completely agree with him. And the only part that I kind of branch off with is, it teaches you not only how to think, but what to think, because education hasn't changed in how many years? Like, the system of how we teach people has not changed, and not everybody learns the same way.
I think it's changed in a multitude of ways, just maybe not in America.
Thank you. And we live here, so that sure.
Just in America, it hasn't changed, but I think there's a lot of places that are aware, just like in terms of our grading system, how we test people, I think a lot of places have figured out, maybe, in some places even think, do away with a lot of the grading.
Yeah,
just do away with that completely.
I mean,
and I'm not even saying that as in I think that's the way or I don't think that's the way. I find it all fascinating, and I think it's something to look into.
Yeah. Who's looking into it, though? That's the thing. And I see secondary education. I know this is going to be so controversial. I see secondary education as another way of separating classes. I mean,
let's be honest. If we're talking about people that are middle class or coming from single parent household, extremely difficult unless your kid is just really talented, really gifted, and just like have amazing grades. It's going to be hard for you to slide in, be able to afford going to college, university. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah. I mean, but then they're going to say, just get a grant, just get a loan, just collect debt to pay for it. Like, it can be done. Dude, I was that guy. I was that guy that was advocating.
Oh, you were telling people to.
Bro, I was that guy that was advocating for college. My freshman year, bro, I can't tell you how many people I talked to. Like, bro, you got to come to college. This is the way to do it. And then for me to just do that whole 180 after 4 years, and I'm not saying that I was like the perfect student. Like, you definitely experience life in college. I might have been like the craziest person. I might not have been doing all of it, right? But I definitely, I wasn't like perfect and like, I'm just gonna stay out of trouble all of the time. I was going to parties. It's what you do, right?
I wish I would have did more because, I mean, to be honest with you, it's almost like I did more partying pretty much when I was only taking like a class or two. So in my case, I was doing more partying when I was out of college than when I was actually in. Because like I told you at the time, when I was full time, I was just so obsessed with the internet. But that was my own thing. But
right.
But anyways, yeah, I think that part is just kind of like a self-discovery aspect of being in college.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in college for sure. But the reason why I say how to think is because.
And by the way, I just want to throw this in there real quick.
Go ahead.
I like how you're being very poignant and careful with your wording right now, because I'm not used to you being like this. So I'm like, I don't. It's actually making the conversation fascinating to me because I'm like, I don't know what he's gonna say next. So you have me on you have me on the edge of my seat. I don't know what you're about to say. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not smart. I don't know anything, but I'm just saying. Like, if you look at the workforce, if you look at corporations, right? They have a service. They're looking for people that are going to buy into this service, right? Because you have to sell it.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what it is, you have to buy into the company that you work for. That's what they want. That's what people want that own companies. They want you to drink the Kool-Aid to be a good employee.
This is tasty. I like it.
That's what I mean by how to think. They want to lock you in. And I'm not saying like making it a blanket statement. For example, if you're going to be a computer engineer, you have to know how to think a certain way, right? But I'm not even looking at specifics. I'm not even looking at like majors. I'm looking at like just your basic, your first 2 years of college, your basics, getting those out of the way. You're already being indoctrinated. Like, it's already started from kindergarten, right? And all they're doing is progressing that indoctrination into college. It doesn't stop, right? And then you're going to learn something specifically, right? But then that learning that you're doing there, you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You're not going to really know what the fuck you're doing until you go to the company that you're working for. Then they're going to train you how they want you to be trained.
Right.
By that point, you're already just like, yeah.
Now, but what, like when you say the indoctrination part, like, what do you mean? Like they're teaching you the way to think a certain way? Like, what do you mean by that part?
I mean, it's all how to perform how they want you to perform, right? Stay in line. That's what they want. Because that's how this world works. That's how the world goes round, right? It's all about capitalization, right? And if you can't make me money, then you're no good to me.
Right, right.
And in order for that to happen, you have to be able to, you need to think this way. So that's what I mean by like, that's what college does, right? It's just a furthering of that indoctrination that started in kindergarten, right? To make you a better employee. Now you're going to get in-depth training on a specific task. You're going to get in-depth training on this problem solving, right? Kind of like what he was talking about. So that's what I mean by like how to think. And I'm not taking away from what he said. I completely agree with what he said as far as that goes. But it really made me think of, well, it's not just that. It's not just thinking. Everybody thinks. People that don't go to college know how to think, know how to problem solve.
That doesn't mean they know how to do it effectively, though.
Okay, I get what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
but again,
I think there has to be some level of structure.
So
some level of structure.
I would say that is an elitist idea or mindset. Me personally,
the structure part of it, or the
saying that they can't do it as effectively as somebody that went to college.
Well,
or they even had some experience.
So I think we have to have an area where we say, here's like this right here, this Acon water bottle.
Yeah,
we got to say, okay, everything that we learned from this area, we can't disagree on because this is the truth, right?
Right.
So and we have these next to it, and then we say, okay, well, there's a little bit in this one, there's a little bit of this, but there's a little biased on my end. And then we have this over here, there's a little bit of this, but there's also you're biased or whatever.
Right.
You know, so I still feel like we have to have some kind of structure in place. We have to have something that we can universally agree that whatever, the sky is blue. We can't just say anybody can come in and be like, well, he has a brain, so what makes you better than him? We have to have some kind of ground level, like, okay, this person did this thing or what, like, I'm trying to avoid not getting too controversial with this. Yeah. So I'm trying to keep it.
We're just having fun.
Yeah, but no, actually, I think this is a great conversation. Actually,
I like it.
Yeah, but I just really think there has to be something that think about like, and I won't get too deep into this, but I'm just saying, using that as a very generic example, like stuff with politics, like we have to have some point where we say, that right there is the truth. Like whether you're on this side or on this side, we have to agree this right here, anything that comes from this area is the truth. If we get to a point where we're like, this person says that's trash, what I think is the truth. We can't live in that world because that's just a mess. Because everybody, going back to what you said, everybody has a brain, everybody has a theory. And it's just a free for all then. And we're not going to have any kind of balance to know what is the part where this is fact, the sky is blue. How do we know the sky is blue? We need to have something that says like, okay, yeah, you're right. I can't argue that the sky is blue. We can't have,
Who's saying the sky is blue? No, but for real though, like who's saying that that's the truth? Because somebody's saying that's the truth, and you're saying because
I'm saying actually that I'm saying so these two guys we'll say we'll be corny and just say, you know, the right and the left.
Yep.
We're saying these two have to agree on that. We have to have something like that. We need a solid foundation.
Gotcha.
We need that. Because if we don't have that, then it's just this side saying this is right and this side that's saying this other thing is right.
So pertaining to this topic, what is the truth? So what is the foundation that needs to be set? Because I know people that have not gone to college that can problem solve. Some of these people can problem solve better than me.
Oh yeah, no,
so
that
I can't say that.
No, that totally happens. Yeah, I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So and that's what I'm getting at. Like I can't say.
But would that be the majority of people? Would you say the majority of people that don't have any college education? Would you say all of them can problem solve?
It depends on the problem.
I don't think so.
I would say it depends on the problem. Because I know people that live in the streets that can problem solve stuff that you could not problem solve way better because that's their environment, right? And there's a lot of them, right? And then there's a lot of
so I think I would say maybe in relation to what you're saying, I guess it depends on what we're talking about. Like, can someone from the streets, can they problem solve how to not get shot? And maybe I will think I'm being a nice person, say, hey, man, you know, leave us alone, man. And I end up getting shot. Yeah, there's probably somebody in the street that's more effective at navigating that in a way where they don't get shot, as opposed to me thinking I'm a nice guy or whatever, saying something and I get shot. But I don't know if that kind of goes into, I don't think that the average, I don't want to even say the average.
And that's why it takes me back to the system. It's all about separating because we're part of this indoctrination, me and you. We are. It's hard to break away from it. But like just us talking about this, we are part of it, right? And you're right. The majority, right, might not be able to problem solve in the way that you think problem solving should be done. There is problem solving that is going on every day, right? And it's not for me to say, well, they're not really problem solving, but I have a degree and I know how to problem solve. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really putting.
So I think, so I do want to say that I think, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I really feel like we're labeling people when we get into that, right? But in the way that Tyson brought it to the table and explained it, he didn't really elaborate on that, but I feel like it really could be elaborated.
Oh, well, remember, that's just the 7-minute clip. It's like, the interview's like, I don't know. I don't remember. It's over an hour, though. But
really?
Yeah.
I really would like to listen to the whole thing. But, I mean, I know we're just talking about that segment.
Right.
You know? And in the beginning, we both said, you know, he's not advocating for education. And I agree. I don't think that education is necessary. Why aren't we talking about trade school? Like, for real. Like, what about the blue collar workers? These people are busting their butt. Like, they're putting in the hard work, right? And they're smart dudes. I'm telling you right now, bro. I went from managing a freaking hotel, coming out of college, not fishing, coming out of college, managing a hotel, to leaving that, going to work in the oil field.
I remember.
Being like in the midst of some smart dudes doing like complex calculations in their head on the fly.
Right.
like math.
Right.
I'm
right.
like, and they're asking me questions and I'm giving them answers like laughing at me. Like the language out there was different, right? But they knew what they were doing. They had done it long enough, right? And what I did not agree with was at the very beginning, they said, oh, well, if you have a college degree, then you're going to make you're going to make $1 million more than, you know, I guess they're talking in general, right? They're talking about the mass.
But yeah, they're talking about, if you get a degree and remember
everybody.
And remember what they said too, because that's important. You know, Vlad did slip in there, like, depending on the type of degree, because he did say, you know, if you're you know, an art major, you know, if you're a philosopher, that you're not going to be doing as well, you know, as some of the other areas.
Well, I think wasn't that Tyson that said that? Because he was basing it off of debt.
Well, that's what that part was. What Vlad said. He did say. Yeah, he did say that.
Okay.
He said it depends on. You know, he said philosophers are not. They're probably not making their money back, which is a little, you know, a little messed up. But I mean, I really don't know if that's true or false, because I don't know any. Truthfully, I don't know any people that are philosophy majors. Do you?
No.
I'm just saying I don't know. So I don't know if that's. It could be true. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that right there alone should tell you why a college is not necessary. No, but for real though, like we need lawyers, we need doctors, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need positions that higher education is necessary. Right? I mean, we do need those people, right?
Yes.
For those instances, you do need more education than high school,
yes.
right? You do need to go to higher education, and I'm all for that. College isn't for everybody.
And I think so they did, and like I said, they touched on that part, and I think maybe that might be the part where me and you we're pretty much on the same wavelength, but I think that might be a part where if I wasn't specific enough on that, like, I don't think everyone should go to college. You know, I really don't think that should be necessary for everybody.
Yeah.
But like I told you, just
I know that you believe that.
Yeah,
I already knew that.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I don't think that's necessary for everyone, and I don't think I do personally believe that there's, you know, a lot of us that are it. Now this might be what you're referencing to. Like I said, maybe our slight disconnect on the subject is that you're talking about the indoctrination part, and maybe what you mean by indoctrination is the part where we're like, I got to go to college. I mean, that's what I do. I have to go. Why? Because that's what everybody says. So I will go to college.
Yeah.
I'll pick something. Okay. I'm 18 years old. I really don't know what to pick. So I'll do the basics. Okay. Next, you know, a year goes by. I still don't know. But I got to be here because I'm told to be here. Okay. Let me pick something else. Okay. I don't know. Like you said, computer science, they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Computer science majors make a lot of money. I'll go into that direction. Now, that part, if that's what you're saying if that's what you mean by indoctrination, I do agree with you on that.
Yeah.
If that's what you mean, that like we are told that you have to do something. Remember when you were talking about the test that you said you had to take? Well, I said you had to take. Geez, we all had to take in high school. And you were like, I should have been a mechanic.
Yeah.
And do you remember what I told you? What my test came up to?
No, you're gonna have to remind me on top.
Inconclusive.
You're kidding me.
That was one of those. And at first I was like, "What the hell does that? What like?" Because and I wasn't, you know, I wasn't one of those contrarians where I'm like, "Ha, I'm gonna just like do some weird shit on this test for no damn reason."
Yeah.
I wasn't one of those. So I was a good little boy. So
trying to be truthful.
And then I saw that and I was like, and then I saw another kid, he got the same thing as me. And I was like, okay, thank God it's someone that makes good grades. So I don't just look like, oh, you're just being, you're just being difficult or whatever.
Right.
You're trying to break the test or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
I mean, even that test, it's not for everybody, right? Because
no. I mean, obviously, since mine was inconclusive.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. But again, it goes back to kind of like what you were saying, like we got to have a basis. But what is the basis? Like, what is that foundation, and why? Who told you to go to college? And the person that told you to go to college, why did they tell you to go to college? They told you to go to college because somebody told them to go to college. How far back did this go? Right? And why? Seriously, why? Mm-hmm. So anyways, it's gonna piss me off.
No, I mean, to me, this was a great.
I know you wanted this.
Well, actually, I really didn't know what direction you were gonna go, but I mean, but I also felt like at the same time, it's good for us to have conversations that are, a little meaty.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I love it.
And also, like I said, it's coming from our perspectives. Like I said, I think I've said this before. No, I haven't said this on YouTube, but if I would have never worked, I probably would have finished college, no problem. But the thing is, though, I probably would have also finished because, like I said, I had that weird obsession with the internet. I probably would have finished out of pressure, because I felt like I had to, because I wasn't working,
Right.
But because I was working and I had a little taste of money, and then also I had, my internet addiction, I had distractions in place. And, but like I said, I mean, a lot of the stuff I did, a lot of the things I use, like even with YouTube, like how to structure like my videos, I do that like an English paper, like here, here's the points that I'm going to make. And here's where, I'm going to get to this conclusion, or, you have what do they used to call it? An attention getting device. Like that's how I will start off a video, is have an attention getting device. That could be a skit, that could be a joke, that could be anything. But it's something that, sets people up for what I'm about to do, or get some quick laughs in before I get to like the more detailed stuff. But I mean, a lot of that stuff that I learned, and like I said, we're talking undergraduate shit, Yeah. A lot of that stuff, I use that in the videos that I make today. So I totally can see how it helps you. And even I can see like, because I mean, think about how long ago, I was in college and how late, I started YouTube. There's still some parts where I'm like, there's ways I could structure this better, but I feel like it's not perfect. And then sometimes, even when I'm making a video, sometimes I'll hold off on coming out with something because I feel like there's something I'm missing. And I do think like if I did take some higher level, we'll say English, for example, if I took some higher level English just in like constructing papers and arguments and stuff like that, I think that would help me to the parts that I feel like this isn't really coming together. Like you have an idea in your brain and you have these arguments, but it's just kind of like bullet points, but it's not coming together. It's not connecting the way you want it to connect.
Yeah. You know what I think about English? Like secondary education English? It's just to keep you in practice. That's all it is. And this is just my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just Stefan just talking, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's all it is to keep you in practice. Because if you know, like if you learn something and then you stop doing it, after a certain amount of time, you're not going to remember how to do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like that,
right?
yeah, totally. That is exactly what I'm saying. Like,
so that's what college does. Specifically English. There's nothing new that I learned in college English composition that I did not already learn in high school.
Oh, you don't feel like it helped you?
No,
write better,
bro. By the way,
I'm not talking about your handwriting because I know your handwriting is amazing.
It's on point.
You get a 9.5 out of 10 if you don't get a 10. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. but for real though, every paper that I did well on, I literally did it last minute. I'm not even joking. Last minute, like I had writer's block. I was that dude. Like I would be thinking about it. I'm not going to go into it. I was about to just go straight off topic, but I'll keep it straight. I would think about this paper that I needed to write constantly, right?
Yeah.
As I'm going to other classes, as I'm doing life, what do I need to be like? Just coming up with ideas and stuff like that, but never writing a word down, not even typing anything, right? Bro, you got a week to do this paper. I'm crunching it out 3 days before I got to turn this paper in. B. A. Like, I'm not bragging. By no means am I trying to brag, right? But that's just where I was. That's just like who I was when it came to writing papers. I don't think it helped me. I always had it in me to do this, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just where I was able to pull it out of me. These classes that I was going to, they were able to pull it out of me. So there's people that have this skill naturally, right? They don't have to go to secondary education to write a book, right? Now, yes, maybe you will learn something. If you learned what you needed to learn in high school, like, that's enough. For me, just using English as an example, right? I understand that there's other subjects that definitely expound on top of what you learn in high school. But I'm just taking it for English, for example, because you brought it up.
Yeah, okay.
It was just one of those things like, it just keeps you in practice. Because the more you write, the better you get at writing. Like if you were to stop writing at high school and never really picked up the pen and paper for a couple of years, you might be rusty. You might have to go back and learn a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. So, but there's just too many people out here. There's too many people in this world that have talents that get overlooked, that have smarts that get overlooked because they're not following the way that society says they need to follow, and then they don't get paid as much as they should because they didn't follow the way society says that they need to follow, and it really pisses me off. It really does. It irks me, and I know I'm just gonna get shit for this. I know I'm gonna get shit for this because I'm talking way too damn much.
No, you're good. You're good.
I mean, like, I'm a dissenter, bro. Like, hands down. I'm a dissenter. Like, I like to look at things differently. Well, what if this? Right? Why do we have to do it this way? Why do you want to do it this way? Right? Honestly, that started with one thing. It started with one question. One rebuttal. Freshman year. I was sitting in my room, my dorm, with my roommate, David. And I said something. And he said, "That's not true." I was like, "Yeah, it is. What are you talking about? My mom told me." He was like, "Nah, bro." He looked it up on the internet and showed me that it wasn't true, bro. I was blown away. I didn't have to be in college for that. That's what set me on the track of thinking for myself, like getting knowledge and not depending on other people to teach me something.
So So that's a point.
I know we went off topic.
No, you're good. Because actually, what you just said there, and I'm not specifically talking about I want to use the example you just gave. So, because this goes back to,
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
This beer's delicious. Do you know how to pronounce this?
No, go ahead. Hit me with it.
I have no idea.
Yeah. No. Is it French?
It's Belgium, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm going to type it in and see what
Okay.
Google says. I'm going to do some research. Sorry.
Oh, okay. But okay. So, but the example you gave, like, that's also like what I mean by when I'm talking about like having a foundation, and because if someone left, wow, okay, I did not.
Sorry,
did not see it. No, that's left.
Left.
Okay. No, it's good.
It's a blonde, and it's delicious. Blonde by Left.
Yeah.
6.6.
Not bad. I agree.
That's tasty.
I agree.
Sours are next, bro. We're bringing them in.
Okay, I'm cool.
For sure. I got the next batch.
Okay, I'm totally cool with that.
All right.
But
continue.
But yeah, so like I said, that's the part where I think the foundation is important. So like going back to your mom tells you something, right?
Yep.
And then I say, dude, you're wrong. And then I go, this is according to the internet. Where is that information coming from? Again, this is something learned from college.
Yep.
The source is very important.
Very true.
This a dude from Reddit?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Is this... I almost said something, and I was the one that said we're not going to talk about this kind of stuff here, and then I almost went there. But anyways, point being though, it's very important who and what the source is.
Yes, very true.
And it's also important to cite who the source is. Like, and I don't know who he said. Like, dude, here it is, right here. This is what I found.
Yeah.
I would be curious to also know, not that I'm doubting what he's saying, but I'm just saying that's the other part of the conversation that is important, where it's important to say, this is the source. And like I said, again, and like I said, I'm keeping it simple just so, left, right. We both can agree, okay, it came from this place. We were both in agreement that this is the truth.
Yeah.
If we can't agree on that, then like I said, it's just a free for all, and then everybody's allowed. You know what I mean? The dude on Reddit is allowed to say, "I just think the Earth is flat." Reasons,
but they do, and they're allowed to. But the fact of the matter is, are you going to believe that? Right? I mean, you get to that.
Well, when you say they're allowed to, I mean, they're allowed to have an opinion, but I mean. I would argue that this goes back to your system thing.
Yeah.
I think the system would not allow them to have like some kind of multi-platform, if they did have one. So I would say, yeah, they can have an opinion, but there are ways to make sure that that your opinion gets pushed far down.
Bro, so one of the topics that we are going to talk about on this podcast is flat Earth.
Oh,
you do remember? Did I tell you that?
No, you did not.
That's one of the things I wrote down. Flat Earth for sure.
Uh-oh.
But not even going into that, like at all. I hear what you're saying, right? And I agree with what you're saying. But another facet to that is they are allowed to say what they're saying, whether they're wrong or not. They have a platform to do it, and nobody's stopping them.
Well,
there's a lot of places where people can just say whatever they want to.
They can, but
you know what I mean. I mean, it's out there, right? And it's up to us to determine whether it's true or not. right?
I don't think we need to go backwards. I don't need to relearn that 2 + 2 = 4. That's already been decided. I don't need to go backwards.
So, well, I guess it goes into the next topic because honestly, I mean, it's one of those things because he was talking about doing proper research. And I remember that you brought it up and said doing proper research. That was something that you gravitated towards when you were talking to me about it initially when you brought this up.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Not just, researching
Googling
is not just Googling it, right?
Yeah. In my personal opinion, no.
Yeah. So what is research to you?
What is research to me? I mean, so it requires multiple sources.
Gotcha.
Different areas. It doesn't have to be, there, like, I understand that we're in the digital age.
Yep.
But I'm saying pick up a book, read the book, talk to people, understand people that are in that field that you're, whatever it is that you're curious about. It's going to take everything. It's going to take time. It's not something you learn in 5 seconds.
Gotcha.
Like we'll go back again to my YouTube channel. That's not from me just playing video games for 5 years. It's not me playing video games for 15 years. It's not me playing video games for 30 years. I was reading magazines, multiple magazines. I was reading GamePro. I was reading Nintendo Power. I was reading even the ones I don't like. Even the ones I hated. I was reading them. Electronic Gaming Monthly. I thought they sucked, but I still read them. And then I read it and I get pissed off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's research. That's research. And also just, time and knowledge into that. That's not something you gain in 30 seconds.
Right.
That's not something you gain in 20 minutes.
Right.
It takes time to get there.
Gotcha. So, I'm only picking on you because I love you, but I feel a little animosity. I hear a little animosity.
Oh, animosity? Animosity to who though?
No, to like to the subject, like to what we're talking about, to like research, because so
no, not animosity. I would just say you're a clown if you think that Googling something is research. A caveman can Google.
I would not.
A caveman can probably Google.
Yeah, I agree with you, right? But I mean, somebody could say, well, I typed in this because I wanted to learn something and I got 5 different websites that said different things and I made my own conclusion or came up with
I've made websites. Does that mean you believe everything that I say? Your boy made I made 2 websites.
Really?
And I made one of those when I was 18 years old. Do you want to believe everything that an 18-year-old boy said? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. I made a website, and you could click on it. You can read it.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Like, that's what kids are doing now. Right? Books are becoming obsolete.
Well,
they're only found in libraries.
I wouldn't say that they're becoming obsolete. I would just say they're becoming digital.
They are. Sorry. They are becoming digital for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. Yeah. That was stupid of me to say that. But I guess when you say read a book, I think paper because I'm old. I think finding a paperback book and reading that damn thing.
Yeah, I do a lot of, I read, I have a Amazon Kindle and sometimes I read stuff on there. And regrettably, I'm joking, by the way, I even read stuff on my iPad.
You're damn right. You read stuff on your iPad
because I have it connected to my Kindle library. So sometimes I read stuff on the old iPad.
All your friends would appreciate you more if you had that blue bubble.
They're just gonna have to. They're gonna have to keep suffering.
That was something I wanted to talk about. I think that was one of the ones that I wanted to bring up.
Torture, absolute torture. Absolute torture.
That was one of my topics that I was going to bring up. Blue versus green. That was it. I remember
Blue
now.
versus green. Oh, God.
Yeah, remember like blue versus red? Remember that old one?
Oh, or you mean red versus blue?
Red versus blue?
Oh, the Halo thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The game I hate.
But you're familiar with red versus blue?
Familiar, yeah.
Really? Did you watch it?
I watched some of them.
No
I didn't
way.
watch all of them. Yes,
Really?
but I did watch some of them, and they were hilarious. I loved them.
So those guys that made that, I got like a lot of stuff autographed from those people that
Really?
made it. Yeah. That was like early Akon years.
Yeah, that's early 2000s.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah,
It was on fire. It was on fire for a little while.
Oh yeah, bro. Like, where are those guys at now?
I think some of them are still at Rooster Teeth, and I mean, I'm not making this up. Red versus blue is still a thing.
You're kidding me.
But I don't think it's definitely not what it was. But I think they're still putting out stuff.
I can only imagine what they're saying. I can only imagine.
Yeah, they're still doing stuff, but yeah, it's
oh man.
I don't think it's on the the same level. But I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, going back to what we're saying, I mean, my son, get a trade. That was my thing. I know that he's not college material. I knew that, right? Dude's smart. He just doesn't have the patience. He doesn't have the sit down, be still patience to sit through multiple classes because he can barely do it in high school. So it's like, why would you torture somebody and put them through 4 more years, of that? Dude, get a trade. It's more hands-on.
What
Go for it.
Just out of curiosity, since you brought it up, like what direction did he or does he see himself going? Like
it changes. Like he changes his underwear. He wanted to do this. He wanted to be a YouTuber. Like,
I can't blame him.
It's that.
I can't blame him.
I mean, it was out there. J. Paul was huge in his life, right?
Oh, I bet. I totally bet that. Yeah.
So he was all about getting on YouTube, making videos. And then when he was old enough to start playing video games, he wanted to do that. Let's just hop on the sticks, Let me record this. I'm gonna be a millionaire, right? Nah, bro, you have no idea. You don't even know.
I believe you.
Be patient. Let me teach you something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. But that's where his mind was, right? And that's where a lot of kids his age. It's quick, fast. I need quick, fast.
Dude, think about the whole esports thing. Like just like I said in episode 1. Yeah, episode 1.
You did.
Just like I said in episode 1. If I would have been a kid growing up in this time, I would have been a PC gamer. Now, I don't know how long I would have stayed in that lane. And more specifically, like if I would have been playing like MOBAs and stuff like that, or more competitive type games. But I probably would have went in that direction just because I was like, oh, I can play video games, and if I'm good enough, I can get paid for it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I mean that's the same thing as I like basketball. If I get really good, I can make something out of myself, and I'm doing the thing I love.
Right.
So I can't. There's nothing I can say bad about that.
I love telling people what to do.
Wait, what?
Maybe I can get good at that. Make a lot of money. I'm just cracking jokes. But anyways. No. So with age comes maturity for most people. Not everybody, but in general. And for me specifically, it was going back to that test that you were talking about. that was an eye, like, as I get older, I was like, golly, my brain definitely works like that. My brain works in that way that I would have been really very skilled in doing that. And talking to this guy that we talked about in the last episode, he's a heavy machinery mechanic. Works for this company, making over $100,000. And who would have thought? My brain was not on that wavelength to think that far into the future that doing this could make me a lot of money. Being a mechanic can make me a lot of money, because all I saw was people working on small cars.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, a lot of the knowledge that you have and how you look at the world is based off of where you live geologically. So if you don't have that variety out there that you can see and say, this is a road that I can travel down and be successful, you don't even know. You don't know what you don't know, right? It's one of those things, right? And until you know, most of the time it's too damn late. Because you're already an adult and you've traveled and seen the world. You've seen something. You've seen more than where you grew up at, right? And it's saddening. It's saddening that we do this to ourselves. That
segment, everything you just said, that's how I feel about dating.
Nice. Thank you for throwing that back in there. Oh man.
But anyways, no, I mean, to like I said, to clarify that more, yeah, I definitely don't think that like I said, everybody doesn't need to go to college. Like I said, I think there's value in it. I think that there are still, things you can take away and things you can learn. I think the part where, like I said, where me and you are, like I said, are different is probably just the part of you feel like there's people that don't need it, but they're just as smart or maybe even smarter than the people with degrees.
Yeah.
No, great conversation.
And that's all right. That's all right.
Right.
To have different, view on that. So that's what makes us who we are.
Right. Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
We can't always be in bromance all the time.
And like I said, I mean, like I've told you before, I mean, what we're doing right now, and like I said, what I'm doing on YouTube, I'm not getting any money for that.
Right. Exactly.
But if I was, I would be in complete bliss. I would be in complete bliss.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely a part of me where, to me, it's like it does. The education part of it doesn't matter. It's just about you being happy with whatever you're doing. I guess that's more of the hippie side of me. Just do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that to an extent. Like, if killing people makes you happy, please don't do that. I know that's not what you mean, but I'm just saying, just being funny. But it's like, yeah, like, and they kind of tell you that at a young age. Like, well, if you do what you love, you won't think of it as a job, right? Have you heard that before?
Yeah, the more, and like I said, I'm not going to go in detail about this. I'm going to say that right now, and we're going to jump right back into you finishing your thought.
Okay.
But the way I think you feel about what would you call it? The indoctrination.
Yeah.
I feel like Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. You're like, damn it. You're
not
like,
fair.
damn. You're like,
that's not fair, bro. You have to get it.
I'll you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'll say this, and I'll say the rest off record. But I'll say the way you feel there's a heavy indoctrination on like go to school, get the job, you're working 5 days a week, whatever.
Yeah.
You feel like this is the path. Here's the blueprint, and you're gonna do this until you work 30 years, which, like I said, that part of it, I think me and you both agree on, actually.
Yeah.
You know that.
For sure.
But anyways, that part of it, there's another, what we talked about, you know, I don't even know how long we've been recording now, but what, you know, when we took the other break, there's what we were talking about in there. That's where I feel the indoctrination is. That is where I 100% feel the indoctrination is.
What were we talking about?
Like I said, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off record. But yeah. But okay, but actually, and see, now I'm gonna mess you up on, you know, you were talking.
I completely forgot what I was gonna say now. You done messed it up, bro. but no, but I was saying, like, you know, they say if you do what you love, then, you know, it's not a job, right?
And I do, you know, I will say this, that is not, you know, it is a little disingenuous to tell people, you know, do this thing, do what you love, bro. Just find something you like, and it'll all come together. And you know, it is a little
bullshit.
Yeah, it is a little. It's
bullshit.
It is disingenuous because guess what? Like going back to what you said earlier, what are kids doing? They're like, oh well, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to play video games then.
Yeah, but they don't know what that means. They just see somebody else doing it, and they think that it's easy.
Exactly.
Everything that you do, right? When you start making money, it's no longer just doing what you love. It's a job. It's a job. You got to work at it. You know? There's going to be times where you're like, damn it, I don't want to do this. And it's really up to you to just do it, you know? And because you love it, maybe it is easier than doing something that you don't love. But yeah, I think it's a crock of crap, you know, for somebody to just say that blatantly and just, oh, it's going to be all right. No.
Well, it's the same thing.
It still works.
Remember when we were talking about the convention thing?
Yeah.
And someone saying, you know, work hard and go to college.
Work hard and go to college.
And then the other person is saying, hey, you want to try out for a commercial today? You can go to this link right here.
Exactly.
Oh, exactly. You don't have a mic? This is the mic you need. So you need to save up $80.
This mic.
Can you afford $80?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, buy this mic, hook it up to your computer, go to this link right here, and here's some places you can try out. They don't pay much, but here's how you can get started.
That's awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. Tribal knowledge is not always the best knowledge, but there are times where it is very good knowledge, and it's needed.
Yeah,
you know, experience that at work. You know, you have a lot of people that say something, and it's not necessarily the truth.
Yeah,
but they've heard somebody tell them because somebody else told that person before that, blah blah blah, down the line, and then it gets to you. It's like telephone, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'll do that. Or yeah, that's how it's done. No, that's not how it's done. You've been told wrong. And the 5 people before you've been told wrong. You just did the same crap, you know, because you were told to do it. That's how I feel college is, you know. Yes, it's needed for some people. It's not needed for all. Like,
I feel
totally.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm totally done with like advocating for college. Like nowadays, I tell people, dude, go get a trade. Like, go get a trade. Don't think. Like, and that's the problem, is that people think that going to college is going to get them an easier job to make more money. No, bro. You're going to work more.
Okay.
For more money.
So I'm totally in agreement with you with that. And because now I got to be careful what I say for a different reason. You know, you're talking about, you know, how some people might see what you're about to say, but there's definitely a lot of people that think that, okay, well, I want to make more money, so I will go to college. And then, like you said, there's no easy path. You know, to be honest with you, there's no easy path with anything. Exactly. If you want to make a lot of money, you're going to have to work for it.
Exactly.
There's no easy way to do it.
Unless you win the lottery. Good luck.
Yes. But yeah, if you want money, you're going to have to work for it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. That is the bottom line.
And that takes me into, why don't we just go back to the bartering system? But that's for another conversation.
I feel like you saying the bartering system, I feel like I just went into Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, bro.
In your case, it would be Fallout.
Bro, exactly. I've had serious conversations with people that, like, they're for real. Like, why don't we just go back to bartering? Money is the root. Money is the problem. Do I agree 100%? No. But is there a better way than the way that we're doing things? Maybe we save that for another conversation. Is there a better way than the way that we're doing
in terms
things?
Of, are you talking about just in terms of paying and taking care of things like I need my car to be fixed? Are you saying that there needs to be a better way to get it fixed, or?
So taking bartering aside,
Okay.
like taking that back, pretend I never said that.
Okay.
Going back to education, right? And working, right? And making a living in this country. Is there a better way? That's what I mean. So
I would say one of them, which again, this could be a controversial statement. Some people don't like this, but what if it was free?
Oh, then you're a communist. Get out of here. Get out of this country.
I ain't leaving nowhere. I'm staying right here.
Get out of this country, you commie. I mean, shoot.
And I'm not, that doesn't, and you know, the reality is that doesn't fix the problems.
No.
But that is a step, because that is, you know, you complained about the debt, right?
Yeah, that was one of the topics you brought up.
That fixes, like I said, that fixes some things. It doesn't fix everything. No system is perfect. You know what I mean? No system is perfect. Just like we were talking about with, there's other countries where they're like, why are we going to send kids to school for whatever it is, 6-7 hours a day? Let's shorten it. Okay, this grading system, let's change the grading system. There's a lot of little things that can be tweaked to improve.
Where does it start? I mean, there are studies. There has to be studies out there. Like, if you know it, somebody else knows it. I didn't know it, right? But somebody else knows it. Why isn't this being implemented into the United States? Why? Right? And I thought you were talking about everything being free, but you were talking about education.
Yeah, I'm just using that as a starting point. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why not? But you know why they're not going to do that? Because then there's no separation, and anybody can do it. And that's not what they want. They don't want everybody to go to college.
Well, wait, but when you say they, do you mean?
I mean the system. I mean who is controlling the country, like who's running it. I don't know. You call it the man. That's what everybody else says. That's what everybody else says, right? The man. It's not the man, right? But you know what I mean. Like the majority that's in power, like the 1%ers that own all the companies.
Right.
They don't want it readily available for everybody. You kidding me? Get out of here with that bullcrap. No, you're going to pay for it. I mean, and I guess they think, or the thought is, well, if you pay for it, that means you really want to do it. Well, what is really the graduation rate at the university that we have right here? It's like 20%, bro. It's low. Those are people. That's how many people are graduating from that university.
Or I got another one for you. Might be a little controversial for me to say this, and this might sound off topic, but I'm just saying this like just ideas like what if we do what some other countries do, and even if you're a felon, you can still vote.
No, see, you're bro. Get out of here, bro.
That's
you
what
don't
other
belong in this country. Get out of here with that.
Other countries do that.
Why
You
not?
know what they do? They go to the prison, and they have to look at the people in their faces and say, "Listen up, buddy. I know you're in here, but we're gonna make your sandwiches even bigger." We're done with the tuna. That nasty tuna. We're getting the good tuna for you this time, baby.
Mario, this is something that I thought of. This was one of my topics that I wanted to talk about later, and it had to do with: are we free? Like, are we free in America? And
are you talking about in a
what is is voting a privilege or is it a responsibility? Think about that. That's a question for later.
It could be well, I don't know if I like those choices.
Those are the only two you have. It's either a privilege or it's a responsibility. It's either something that you have to do or it's something that you get to choose to do because you're an American citizen.
You said when you say responsibility, I feel I'm responsible for it.
I don't.
You want to know why I feel responsible for it?
Tell me.
Do you know what I'm going to say, or you don't know?
No, I have no idea.
Because of all the young brothers and sisters that died before us and fought for our people to be allowed to vote. And the white allies too.
Yeah.
But just everybody that fought for everyone to have the opportunity, for women to have the opportunity. So I do feel a little compelled in that regard to partake.
18%. 18% graduating from Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's some bullshit.
Wait, which part? Wait, which part is? Are you saying like the people that are going, they need to get their shit together, or you mean, or you the people that are dropping out need to get their shit together, or because that would be me and you.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying though that's how many people are graduating. That's only 18% of students that enroll are actually graduating from that university.
Okay.
So just throwing that number out there because I said 20 and I wasn't for sure because the last time I heard it was 20. But
okay, gotcha.
But anyway, but going back to what you said, so I hear responsibility. That you didn't.
I say on a personal level, but I wouldn't say it's a responsibility. You know, you can at the end of the day you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
some people would say that you can't.
But I would say that I feel compelled to wait. Some people say you can't.
I mean, some people would say that you can't. That you're an American citizen and that you should, or you don't have an opinion.
Well, that
you don't have an opinion.
Don't have an opinion. Wait, I'm lost.
So the argument is still today that if you don't vote for a candidate, then you don't have an opinion. You cannot say.
Oh, you're saying you mean like if you don't vote, then you're not allowed to speak on the circumstance. Okay, I'm following. Now I'm following.
Exactly.
Sorry, I understand what you're saying.
Exactly. So
okay, yeah.
In that mindset, it's a responsibility. Like you're supposed to do it. I feel like it's a privilege.
Well, I guess that's one way of looking at it. Okay.
If it's a responsibility, then felons should be able to vote. That's how I feel. No. But voting is treated like a privilege. Voting in America is treated like a privilege. Mm-hmm. And But people say that it's a responsibility. So it's a two-sided argument, right? It's a two-sided coin, and they're trying to use both sides and saying both of them are heads. Like, they treat it as a responsibility, or they say it's a responsibility, but they treat it like a privilege because not everybody gets to vote.
Right. And
if you're a felon, you do not get to vote.
So, and going back to that, yeah, that's
what I mean.
That's okay. And that's the part. Yeah, I totally say, let them vote.
Why not? Let them all vote. Let them have a choice. They live here.
Like I said, I think it was a Michael Moore documentary I watched, and it was.
Oh, you're a commie. I'm just kidding.
I could be.
Just kidding. You like Michael Moore? Get out of here.
I do like Michael Moore.
I do too. I do like him.
And did you? I think. Which one was it? I think this was the one where he was going to different schools and he was showing in other countries what food they were given.
Yeah.
And he was comparing that to the food that we give our kids.
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that was
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. So that was probably the one that he might have went over, like when someone goes to, and like you said, we'll have to save this part for another time. But anyways, he was saying he goes to another jail or prison in other countries, and it's totally different from our structure and everything. And like I said, we can dive into that another time. But so from your perspective, I would say, you would probably look at it as I'm saying it's a responsibility, because I would be like, hey, just let everybody be allowed to vote and go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would be okay with that. Just let everybody. I think that's fair. I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, the part about like if you're allowed to have an opinion on something and not partake, that's kind of one of those things where I'm trying to think of something. How would you feel if I was telling you how to raise your kid as a single person? That's
where are you getting your information from?
I think when people say, like speaking on things that you didn't partake in or devote any time to, I think that's what they mean by that. Like,
yeah,
just you offering an opinion on something that you didn't dedicate any time to, any effort into. I think that's more what they mean. Not that you're not allowed to think anything, like how dare you.
Yeah.
Not so much that, but more of just okay, you participated in this thing.
Yeah.
And you didn't, whatever, your side didn't win or whatever.
Right.
Then yeah, you can moan. But then if you didn't partake at all, I don't think it's not so much that you're not allowed to have an opinion, because I mean everybody's gonna have an opinion about everything, right? So you can't control that part,
right? Just
like you were saying about the flat earthers, they can have an opinion, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna make cross-eyed faces at you. You know what I mean?
What if they're right?
They're not.
There's a lot of stuff out there that say they might be.
A lot of stuff from where? Where's the sources?
Just like I asked you, where are you getting your sources from on how to raise my child? I mean, like there's a lot of sociologists, a lot of, therapists that don't have kids, and they're telling you how to raise your kids. They're out there, right? So,
but wouldn't you say, okay, so
these are educated people that went to college.
But those people, wouldn't you say that people would have to be seeking those individuals out? Like I would have to be like, help, I need help with my child or whatever.
Right.
My child is getting arrested or whatever, doing all kinds of shit, and I need help.
Right.
Then that's when. So that would be more like, what would you call it? Like that's not unsolicited advice. That's solicited advice.
But what does it matter? If you don't have kids, how can you teach somebody how to raise their kids? Right?
Well,
because that's just...
And that goes to my point then. How could you have an opinion on something that you didn't participate in? That's you're saying. So you're actually proving the argument that I was saying, that if you're not participating in like a voting process, then why would you, like, even I would even wonder, why would you want to share your opinion?
No, I mean, that's true. But what I'm saying is, and maybe we're saying the same exact
and we
thing,
could
just
be,
different ways.
yeah, probably.
Because we're at that point. But I'm just saying, like, there are people out there that give advice on things that they do not know personally, only educationally, or not like knowledge that they've been given, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say for me, I don't vote, right? For one election. I've gained all this knowledge and I don't like either one of the candidates, so I'm not going to vote, right? And it doesn't matter who wins. For me, it doesn't matter, right? Can I have an opinion? Regardless? Yes, I can.
Yeah, you can.
Should I be able to say something if I've gathered all this knowledge on both candidates and somebody's going to have an argument with me? I can say, well, such and such, blah, 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 blah. Right? I should be able to say that. Some people are saying, no, you can't say that. Okay. You can't say that because you didn't vote.
Okay, so I will say this. So that part of, well, you can't say anything. I think so. Your subtext is, what if I did all this research and stuff? But hypothetically, I would say, not hypothetically. I'm sorry. What's the word I'm looking for? So predominantly, when someone hasn't voted, let me use another example. If someone is atheist, and then they're man, this is a wild.
You're going.
If someone's atheist, right?
Yep.
And they're atheist because their parents are born atheist. I would argue that 9 times out of 10, that kid did not do no shit ton of research or anything like that and studied all the religions and stuff. And then they came to the conclusion, my parents were right all along. I'm going to stay an atheist.
No, they just listened to their parents and followed with their role. Yeah, followed their. Yeah.
So I would probably argue with that. I don't want to say, because I am basing this off of opinion, not actually
for sure
data or anything. But I would argue that the people I've come across, I haven't met any person that doesn't, that, let's say, they don't care about voting or anything, but then they've studied and read up on both people. I haven't met that person that never voted and then studied up on all people that were all involved parties and then came to this conclusion. Most of the time, it's people that just don't care, and it doesn't interest them. There's no connection. They don't see the point of it, and so therefore, it's not something they ever had to look up in their lives. So I mean, it doesn't affect them, Right. So for them, they're just like, well, I don't, it's not that I really dislike one person over the other. I just don't really care.
So what about those people that don't care? Do you think they should be able to say something?
I think they should say they don't care. And I would be like, and you know what? I'd say, cool. But yeah, no. So I don't think that like I said, you can't stop people from having an opinion on things. You can't stop people from thinking. You know what? This is how I would word it. This is how I would word it. I think so. Let me think of an example. Let's go back to the kid example.
Okay.
So I'm the single guy, and then, we'll say, because I know I'm not going in detail, so I'll keep it vague. Based off of what I've seen from my job and the information I've come across, let's just say I'm like, oh, these shit parents, they're not doing anything. They need to get their stuff together. That, they just having babies left and right and not taking care of them, right?
Yeah.
I can say that. I'm allowed to say that. Like you said, I'm allowed to have that opinion.
Yep.
And I could say, oh, there's these people, these people that aren't taking care of the kids. But guess what? I got to understand there's going to be some heat coming my way, and I got to be ready for that heat. So if you are a non-participating individual talking about something that you didn't participate. You got to understand you're allowed to say whatever you want, but there's going to be some heat coming your way.
Yeah, for sure.
Or, let's keep it, I always like to keep things silly. You're an Xbox fan. You can talk shit about PlayStation.
Yes, I can.
You can. But just understand there's going to be somebody rocking back and forth in their chair and they're like, what did he say about Zelda?
You're not talking about us Sony ponies.
I think that's hilarious that you caught the Sony pony thing. That shit is.
I love it.
Oh man.
We take a quick break.
Okay, let's go to a commercial break.
And we are alive to the world again.
Yep.
So, just kind of wrapping this little bit up that we were talking about. I did want to touch base on this as far as the 18% about the university that I looked up. We don't know, like, just off of what I see, we don't know if, like, those people graduated, moved away to another university,
Right.
It says graduation rate, right?
Right.
So I don't know how they figure out that percentage, but it is 18. And I don't want to do a disservice of making somebody look bad, but
right.
That's the number that's put out there.
And actually, without me going into too much detail, it's also kind of, similar to my job where there's a starting point. People love to start where I work and then go somewhere else. So that is a thing that definitely happens. And
sure.
And that's a very good point.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, kind of talking about this whole, is college necessary in 2023? I think we both are on the same page as far as it's not necessary.
I would say not necessary for everyone. It's not necessary for everyone. I totally
more specific. Yes.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. It's not necessary for everyone.
Not necessary for everyone, even though inside of that whole sandwich, that we just literally made.
Yeah, that was a doozy. That was a doozy.
We each have different viewpoints on a lot of different things, but getting back to the root of the question, like, we're in agreement that not everybody has to go to college.
Yes, we are. We are definitely in agreement there.
Right.
We absolutely are.
And I mean, I think it was kind of laid out pretty, specifically. I'm one of those people that will encourage people, to try something different, It's cliche, and we've already said it, to do what you love, right? You should do what you enjoy, but understand that it is still going to be work.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This isn't a easy pill, right? So with that said, do you have any final comments on it?
Well, just kind of like you said, it's something that, for the most part, you and I agree, and I think, I totally understand if you're 18 years old and you don't know what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And I think for a lot of people, it's okay to not know what you're supposed to do. I almost went a step further and said you're not supposed to know, but some people do know. Some people know at an early age.
Yeah.
Exactly what they were put on this earth to do. But there's a lot of people that don't. And I think the part where me and you definitely agree on is that there is definitely a pressure, out the gate, when you're in high school, to already know what you want to do for the rest of your life. And a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah. And even if information is put in front of you to do something different, if you're pressured into taking a different path and that pressure is very heavy, you're going to go with the pressure, right? You're going to follow what you're being told.
Right. And I think people just need to, I mean, I know this wouldn't be the best thing to say for everybody, but I think some people they don't need to jump into college immediately. I think they should think about it for a second. But I know there's some people that probably shouldn't take a break, because then, you take 1 year off, then it's 2 years, then it's 3 years. And that's not even just with college. That's with working.
Yeah.
You stop working. Yeah, you stop working. It can kind of make you lazy. You're like, I kind of like not working.
Exactly. Yeah, that definitely happens.
Yeah. So I would just say that, yeah, it's definitely, I think that's where you and I agree on. It's not for everyone. And I do really feel like people shouldn't feel pressure that they have to know what they're supposed to do for the rest of their life. It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
But and like I said, probably on my end, just that, I still value education. I still think it's important. And, just kind of like I said before, there's a lot of things that I've taken away from college that I apply to stuff I do now. But I think people need time to figure things out, and I think that's just the most important thing.
Yeah, simply put. Take your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not everybody has to take the same path.
Not everybody has to take the same path.
Yeah, for sure. So,
if only everybody could be Jake Paul.
If only. Goodness gracious. So, there was this. I just want to start off with saying I'm not a TikTok person.
And oh God, save me. Save me.
I'm not a TikTok person, right? All my TikTok info, video views are through my wife. Like, she has TikTok. So if anybody's getting hand up, it's going to be her. I'm going to be free.
So, and I think most people know this about me. So I have a Gaming Harbinger TikTok, and it's I don't want to say vastly different, but it's different from what I usually do. But it's just, TikTok is just ultimately the king of short form. I guess it replaced, I don't know, Vine. What did it,
It was Musical.ly.
Oh, that's right. You guys actually, your wife was educating me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I did not know any of that stuff. Okay. Yeah.
My son was on it, like
crazy,
hardcore. Quite a few videos.
No, I really feel it. And what's funny is that there's people I work with, there's people my age, there's even people older than me that are really into TikTok.
Yeah.
And I really feel like an old man when I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, not fascinating.
Yeah. It's that middle block. I really feel like it's that thing, like, I don't want to learn it. I don't want to be a part of it. I really wasn't a part of Vine when it popped out,
It was too, you could, like, the way Vine was for me back then, it was just, cool. And then that's it.
Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very just, I wasn't like, let me find more. Someone would show me something funny, and then you move on to the next thing. That's it pretty much.
Sure. Do it for the Vine. But yeah, so I'm not a TikTok person. I think maybe I do have a TikTok video out there.
Oh, yeah, you do.
From my detailing.
Yes, you do. You do.
Casey made it. No, Dion made it. Again, I don't participate in it. It's so funny, right?
No, I think this part is hilarious because since neither one of us really follow stuff on TikTok, I think us talking about anything TikTok related is hilarious.
It really is, right? Like, stupid. But no, like, anything I bring up that's TikTok related, I'm gonna get it from my wife, and I'm be like, oh, that's a good. What's going on with this? Tell me something.
Right.
Tell me what you know. So it's always going to be third hand. But I saw, there's trends. There's trends that are going out. People are doing some crazy stuff, bro.
I do not
People
doubt that.
are doing some crazy stuff. This is not a topic that I'm going to bring up. I thought about it. I heard the latest trend. People are just walking into random houses. Just walking into random houses, bro.
What is that dude's name? I can't remember. Moist Critical. He did a video on that.
Really?
If you don't know who Moist
I
Critical,
don't know.
you're probably like, that name.
Yeah, seriously. Moist. You start off with moist.
Yeah. Yes. And guess what? I don't have an explanation for that.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But no, he did a video on one kid that was literally, like you said, running into houses and at one point the kid, because I think he's like British. The one
I think it's the one over there. Yeah.
Okay. And he literally ran in the house and he's like, "Where's the study group? Where's the study group? I'm here for the study group." But then there were other people, I don't know if it was because he was just worried. He was like, he didn't say anything to him. He just walked in their house. And I'm like, that's kind of creepy. And then just took off.
Yeah, bro.
I don't have an explanation for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, please don't do that in America. You're going to get shot. I mean, people walk down the wrong street, knock on the door, get blown through the door, right? Like, it's a real thing. Like, that's stupid. Like, stupidity. But I digress. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the whole tart cherry. Like, it's a thing. Like, giving your baby tart cherry to help them fall asleep. And
Okay, so what exactly is it?
so tart cherry, so it's a cherry that has been given the name tart cherry because it makes your mouth pucker. It's tart, right?
Okay.
And that's where it originated from. It makes your mouth pucker, so they call it tart cherry. But it's kind of hit the scene as a super fruit. And I saw this TikTok, and this mother was giving her child tart cherry, saying, if your baby is not sleeping at night, give them some tart cherry and they'll go to sleep. And, she's videoing her mixing this. And I don't know how much tart cherry they're putting in the little sippy cup for the baby, but they're mixing it with water and they're giving it to the baby. And a few minutes later, I don't know if it's a few minutes, but it might be like in a half hour,
Okay.
the bottle's gone and the baby's passed out, like knocked out. And the first thing I thought, I was like, bro, you just put that kid in a diabetic coma. That's not that is not what you do to put kids to sleep. You just gave that baby a bunch of sugar and it passed out. Because I mean, a human, an adult, right? If you're not healthy, you eat enough sugar, you're gonna go into somewhat of a diabetic coma. Like, it's gonna affect your body in a way where you're gonna feel tired, right? And then if you're borderline diabetic or even a diabetic, it's gonna put you in a coma. Like, depending on what type of diabetes you have, right? So It's a real thing. So my whole, I know I brought this up to you and I was like, I want to talk about this. And I didn't have a lot of information beforehand. It was just kind of like a thought that popped in my head. And it was just kind of like, that doesn't sound right. I don't believe that. I'm a skeptic already, right off the bat. Like,
I've never heard of anything like this before.
Yeah, bro. So just naturally, I'm a skeptic. So I was like, because that's the first thing that popped in my head. Like, that baby ain't, no, that's not, okay, what's really going on? So I did some digging. The only website that I could find that was basically agreeing with this feeding your babies tart cherry was a website for moms. It was, I got to look it up because I don't want to be that guy. But it was basically no citing. Like they said a study was done, but they didn't cite the study. I was like, are you kidding me, bro? This is that book that we were just talking about.
Right. This is important. You got to know where this stuff is coming from. A study.
So I'm reading this whole article, and they did not say until the very end that they didn't like say any side effects whatsoever. They just said, make sure you don't give your babies like the tart cherry juices that have like additive sugars, right? That's really kind of the only thing that they really talked about. But they were really advocating, like, I mean, there's a lot. If you read about tart cherry, they do talk about the benefits of it, inflammation. It does have traces of melatonin, which does help you sleep. There's another trace. Turkey has this in it. Cytofen. Does that sound familiar? I think it's Cetaphil or something like that. And of course, it's not going to pull up what I was looking at earlier. And I had it saved, and Firefox closed, and it's not going to give it to me again. But anyways, here, let me look up the benefits for it, because I know for a fact this isn't the same one that I was looking at. But anyways, there are 2 ingredients in tart cherry that, one, helps you sleep the body melatonin, right? That helps adults sleep, helps people sleep. And then it's there's another one that basically produces melatonin to help you sleep. And tart cherry has both of these things. So everything that I read referred to adults, mainly athletes. A lot of them said that there's not enough studies done outside of athletic people to call it a superfood, like some people are calling it. But there are side effects to drinking tart cherry. They say that drinking tart cherry you should only do like once a week. But this article that I was reading that was targeted for mothers with kids, giving their kids this every day was okay. Even though the natural sugars in tart cherry can cause tooth decay, like your kids are going to have rotten teeth as soon as they have teeth. It's going to cause digestive system issues. And there was one other thing.
I kind of feel like pretty much what you're saying is there's no shortcut.
Exactly. This is what I was getting. And
what?
Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say there's just, and of course, coming from the single guy, but or let me not say single. I'm talking about coming from the person that doesn't have any kids. I think the bottom line is that there's no shortcut to where you're like, oh, you know, you want your kid to go to bed sooner? Here, do this. I think sometimes us as human beings, we're trying to find a shortcut to something we perceive as a problem. And maybe there isn't a problem. Maybe it's just a baby being a baby.
Bang. No, bro, that's exactly what I thought. I'm so sorry. I really wish that this stupid internet wouldn't have closed my links because I had both of them. I looked up one from like a medical journal, and then I looked up just like a kind of in between, like a sponsored one that like Google will give you.
Yeah.
And then I looked up one specifically that that was targeting parents with kids, right? I wanted to kind of look at both and kind of get a different perspective from each. So I wasn't just talking about something like, well, I'm just going to take this one and run with it, right?
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair.
There are side effects. The studies are not clear. They're not conclusive enough to say, yes, this is a superfood for everybody, right? The studies that have been done with the supplement with tart cherry are in labs and like really designated for athletes. So it took me back. Like after reading the articles that I read, it was just kind of like, we're just looking for that easy button.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me.
You know? And it kind of took me back to like that mentality of that easy button. It really goes back to like our parents' generation, to be honest with you. First thing that popped in my head, if your mother took Fen, she was doing drugs. Speed, for sure, right? Because losing weight has always been an issue for people in general.
Oh, yeah, for
mainly
sure.
women,
For sure.
right? And Fen was the thing. If TikTok was
and I'll be honest with you, so I'm totally unfamiliar with that. So
Fen was a drug that was put out. I don't know what the root cause of it being made was for, but it was used for weight loss in women. Majority of the people that use Fen were women, right?
Well, now was this something that they used like after having a kid, or it didn't matter? It was just
doesn't matter if you're overweight, you could use it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right? So, without getting personal, I knew people that used it like close to me, and it's speed. Like the makeup of the drug, pharmaceutical drug Fen is speed. So your mom or dad, whoever was doing it in your house, was using speed in front of you. Like they were doing drugs, hardcore drugs. That was pharmaceutically altered and given to them, right? So if TikTok was a thing back then, Fen would have been on the trending list.
Gotcha.
So it kind of brings it back to the tart cherry. Like it's just one of those fads that, oh, this works. And it probably does work. But they even say that like the amount of melatonin in tart cherry isn't even enough to like make you fall asleep. So that's what brings me to the belief that it's the sugar that we are giving our kids that's probably has melatonin in it anyways. It's enough for a baby, an infant. Like it's knocking them out. Like how healthy is this really? And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. It just raises the question, right? It just sparks a conversation in my head. And that's why I was like, hey, let's talk about this to like, have a conversation about it.
So, no, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. But there's a lot of that stuff out there. There's a lot of people doing things, and is it legit? Or are they just trying to get clicks? Are they just trying to get views, make money? Like, what's really going on? So,
probably
all of the above. Yes, sir. For sure. So, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. You have any thoughts?
No, pretty much what I said towards the middle. I mean, that's, just, and going back to something we were talking about earlier, just trying to find shortcuts to things. There is no, I feel like I'm going back to, the previous conversation about thinking, you going to college is going to be a a cheat code or a way just so you can make more money. And actually, we said this off the record, right? You make, when you're wanting to make more money, or actually you get into a position where if you want to make more money, you're going to have to work harder. And the same.
No, we were talking about that on record.
Yeah. Okay, we were talking about that on record. Okay. So to me, this is kind of the same thing. Like, it's trying to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed. It's a baby being a baby, and there doesn't need to be a fix for that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell me more than anyone else. I mean, I imagine it. I know there's probably a period where it's difficult to get sleep with an infant, and I imagine that's probably a nightmare.
Yeah, for sure. I do remember waking up.
But I just don't think
2:00 in the morning. Like, what the heck's going on? Baby's crying.
Yeah, I just think there's some stuff. It's just there's not a cheat for it. You just
Yeah. Well, the thing is that there is a cheat for it, but there's side effects to it, right? It's not the end all be all. Doing this to your child every night could cause issues for your child. Like, even in adults, they say that you should only do it once a week at the most, right? It's not something that you should drink every day. So it's just one of those things. It's just misinformation. And I don't have all the information. I just pulled up what I could, looked for reliable sources.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of going back to that whole researching thing. I didn't read a book, but for the short period of time that I had to look some stuff up, I felt like the information that I was given I had 3 different views. You had your, yep, you need to do this. Yeah, but no. And yeah, but no. But for different ways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just kind of, I know there's a lot of those trends out there that people will just I know there's people out there that are debunking TikTok trends or just trends on the internet. There's this one guy that I watch when me and my wife are flipping through TikToks, and it's he's like, no way. And he'll see a video, or somebody will see a video, send it to him, and ask him to do it to see if it's legit. So basically, he's either verifying or debunking it. And those are pretty cool. There are people out there that are doing it.
That kind of sounds like a show I used to watch called Fact or Fake. Have you ever heard of that? Fact or Fake. Have you ever heard of that? No. I don't remember what channel it came on, but it came out probably around the time when Netflix was first becoming a thing. But it's not a Netflix show. But Netflix got it for a little while, and then they pulled it off for whatever reason. But anyways, it was a show about, remember I was telling you about the ghost thing. It was a show where people would, most of the time it would be a video.
Yeah.
They would have a video, and then let's just say they're like, look, there's a ghost in somebody's car. And then they'd watch the video, and then they're like, okay. And it would be like a team of maybe 6 people. And then their goal is to try to replicate the video. And then if they can replicate it, then they're like, okay, so they did this, and this reflection is bouncing off of that, and that's how they made it look like a ghost. Or I remember seeing one where you see, they were saying that there was this haunted car. Like if you drive down this dark alley, there's a haunted car that'll chase you down or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there was a point there, and this was on somebody's video. They showed that the car drove through a fence. Just drove straight through, like
a real car.
Yeah, almost like the car was a ghost in a sense. And so then they had to try to figure out how they could replicate that. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember that they were able to pull it off. and it had.
Did they have to use pulleys or something, or they just the car just moved by itself?
Well, it like even that wasn't the issue. It was more of that scene of like, how do you make it look like this car is going through the fence?
Gotcha.
And I really can't remember how they did it, but they were able to pull it off. But there's times when stuff will happen, right? And they would be like, okay, I'm not saying this is real, but we can't replicate it.
Gotcha.
But you know, some of them look really, you know, more obvious than others, and others you're like, that, I mean, if this isn't real, you know, which, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, I've never seen any ghosts in my life. But if I did, I don't want to say it'd be a good day, but I'm just joking. But anyways, point being, though, is that they would just say, hey, I'm not saying that this is legit or not, but we weren't able to replicate it, so we're not really sure what this is.
Gotcha.
That's the kind of show it was. And sometimes I would see some stuff like one they showed where there was an alien walking in the background in like some Mexico news reporting or something.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some of it you're like, okay, that kind of looks fake. This should be easy for them. But anyways, awesome. Yeah. But anyways, that's what you describing the whole debunking, the guy that debunks trends. That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never seen that. I'm gonna have to look that up and see if I can find it. But yeah, he does that. So, I mean, there are people out there that do that. You know, he's one of them. But you know, the mass, you know, this just kind of follow the leader type deal. That's how I feel. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So, not saying that I know it all, but it's just one of those things that make you think, like, is this for real?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right, man. Well, another one bites the dust.
I know. I'm a little surprised that we just knocked both of those bad boys out. That's crazy. That's insane. But I mean, that turned out really, really good.
It was either a 4-hour podcast or we're making 2 episodes in one series.
I mean, that's. I think once I realized at a certain point, I was like, okay, we either gotta end it here, or we're already in a groove, so we might as well just keep going and just do the next episode.
Yeah, seriously. I honestly did not have faith, but we always prevail.
You mean to do the other episodes?
I didn't know if we was gonna push the second one out like it did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro. I did. I was like, oh. That's why I was kind of like, Murray, you sure you want to just cut it into 2? Why don't we just do 1? Just make it a little longer. In case he's like, 3 hours are not acceptable.
Did she literally say 3 hours is unacceptable?
Yeah, she said this. You trying to do a George Lucas film? That is not a thing.
Oh man, so, that's wild. That's funny.
It is what it is. But bro, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
We like I said, we got into some meaty stuff, and
yeah,
and
I don't last time.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. There's definitely going to be some returning to that topic, you know, in the future. But
for sure.
But no, I'm glad that it happened, and you know, like I said, it's just going to be more entertaining, and you know, just have fascinating conversations. You can tell I'm getting tired now. Like words are just. I'm just trying to say words. Just keep saying words, and they'll connect.
Just
they'll
move
connect
your mouth and breathe outward.
Right.
All right, bro. It was fun.
Yeah.
How are we gonna end this one?
I think we out of here.
Later.